Today we'll be making this hair tea that helps prevent hair loss by fighting oxidative stress, blocking excess DHT, reducing inflammation on the scalp, and stimulating that hair growth. And you guys, this tea is special because this week we can also consume this tea internally for its wonderful benefits. So let's get into today's video. Hello my happy nappy crew, it's NowIamNappy and we are starting week 5 and I really can't believe we're in week 5 of our Prevent Hair Loss Challenge. And this week y'all, we'll be making this DIY hair loss tea, and you guys, I will be telling you guys my hair loss story because I feel like there's a lot you guys can benefit from, especially while we do this challenge, and have realistic expectations, but also talk to you guys really about the benefits of taking and focusing on our internal health, especially if we're dealing with any type of hair loss issues. So let's get into making this hair tea. I'll tell you about the benefits and then let's jump into the story. So let's begin with our Ginko leaves. We're going to add 2 tablespoons. If you have the tea bags, you can use 2 tea bags as well. Next is our green tea leaves as well. We're going to go in again with 2 more tablespoons. Again, use 2 tea bags if that's what you have. Finally, let's go in with our Amla powder. We're also going to go in with 2 tablespoons. We're leaving this recipe nice and simple and not super strong. Next, I'm going to go in with 2 cups of boiling distilled water and pour that over. Now, if you only have 1 herb, you can use 4 tablespoons of that herb. If you have 2 herbs, you can use 3 tablespoons of each of those herbs. Alright, go ahead and give this mixture a nice good stir and stir occasionally over the course of at least 1 hour. For me, I let my mixture sit for about 5 hours because y'all, I wasn't feeling well and I ended up taking a nap and forgetting about the mixture. So 5 hours later, I'm going to strain this using my cheesecloth. Now, I only found my little cheesecloth today, but y'all, this will work just well. Go ahead and pour the mixture in and then squeeze and get all of the benefits from that hair tea. Alright, now that you've strained it out, go ahead and pour this into a bottle for ease of application. I'll be using my applicator bottle for this, and I'll also add in 10 drops of peppermint essential oil as well as 10 drops of rosemary essential oil. Give that a nice shake and let's get to using it. So you guys, this week, because I was really under the weather, my hair and scalp is not really itchy, so I'm actually going to delay wash day 1 more week, but I do want to make sure I get all the properties of this hair tea. So I'm going to take down my hair, moisturize it, use this hair tea. You can use this hair tea as a pre-poo, and you can use this after you shampoo and condition your hair right on your scalp. Do not rinse it off. You want these properties to penetrate into your hair follicles. And throughout the week, at least 2 to 3 times, making sure that you give yourself a massage while using this on your hair. Alright, so I'm going to tell you about some of the benefits of this hair tea first, but you guys, please check out the video on the screen where I go into full detail about all of these 3 herbs that are in this hair tea, and then I'll tell you about my hair loss story. Okay, so just a brief preview of some of these herbs. So the green tea is rich in antioxidants called catechins, which help stimulate hair follicles and promote hair growth. In particular, it has EGCG, which is said to help inhibit the activity of the 5-alpha reductase. We know that this actually converts testosterone into DHT. We learned that excess DHT causes that male and female pattern baldness. It's also rich in vitamins E and C, which help to remove oxidative stress from the scalp, and it has anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. Next up is the Amla powder. Amla is packed full of vitamin C and helps to stimulate the production of collagen. We know collagen is an important protein for hair growth and strengthens the hair follicles. It also helps to prevent dandruff and dry scalp and condition the hair and improve blood circulation and reduce hair fall. Last up is Ginko, and Ginko has been reported to enhance blood flow and improve peripheral circulation, and this is essential for delivering oxygen and nutrients to the hair follicles and promoting that hair growth. It also has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, and is said to help reduce stress-related hair loss as well. Alright, and if you want to learn more about these properties, check out the video up top on the screen with full details about each herb. Alright, so let me begin by telling you guys about my hair loss story. And actually what I experienced was CCCA, and I'll put that name on the screen, and it creates that centrifugal hair loss in the crown section of your hair. Alright, so let me just go ahead and get started and tell you about what happened. So when I first went natural, like, I guess this is almost 15 years ago at this point. I was on this hair board called naturality.com, and y'all, I did my big chop. My hair was thriving. It was growing so nice and healthy. I went from like ear length to almost bra strap length in 2 years. And I remember going on the hair board, and everyone there was talking about, you know, not just you know, putting healthy things on our hair, but we should also care about what we put in our bodies. And at that time, I decided I was going to go vegan, just like a number of girls were going vegan during that time. But in all honesty, y'all, I didn't do any real research. I just knew, like, okay, we're not eating meat, but I didn't know that there was a certain amount of requirements and vitamin and nutrient requirements that you would need to necessarily get. So, you know, I didn't really focus on that. I was really young at the time, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna go natural, I'm gonna go vegan. And honestly, I felt really great in the beginning, because when you first cut out meat and a lot of like toxic junk food things that you're eating regularly, your body initially feels amazing. But unfortunately, like maybe a couple months in, I did feel a little bit more lethargic. But I just thought, you know what, it's probably due to my lifestyle. I had just moved to New York on my own, and I was always ripping and running the streets like always. And so I just assumed that my extreme fatigue was due to, you know, me being outside all the time. And some things I did notice in my hair during that time was that I noticed that my scalp was very, very itchy, in particular in the crown section. Like, I experienced severe itching and dryness in my hair, and you know, I didn't pay it too much attention. Like, I would probably use some topical treatment on it if I felt like, okay, you know, this would be helpful. It wasn't until maybe a couple months after that I remember like looking at the back of my hair and seeing like an inch or two of hair there. Like, it was just like this much hair in the crown section. I was like, huh. I actually want to say, like, one of my friends who's a stylist was the one who showed it out or pointed it out to me. So I was like, you know what, I'll figure it out. Went back on my hair board, and I was trying all these different type of topical treatments, like onion rinses and using certain herbs, and I really didn't pay it too much more time and too much more attention after that. And honestly, it wasn't until maybe like a couple months later when I was actually coming down on the subway from being out. I actually blacked out on the subway, and I was rushed to the hospital, and they found out I was severely iron anemic, and my B12 was ridiculously low. And so they gave me all these shots and all this stuff, and you know, the doctor was like, have you been experiencing extreme fatigue and tiredness? And I'm like, yeah, but I just, you know, didn't think too much of it. Like, I told him that I was new to New York and I was running around, so I just assumed that the tiredness was due to, you know, just being outside. And so he told me no, and he told me that I need to make sure I, you know, consumed iron, and he put me on these iron pills. And shortly afterwards, you guys, y'all know if you ever been on iron pills, I got really constipated, and I went back to the doctor and I told him, you know, I need something else because this is not working for me. And he gave me, like, I remember, like a sheet of paper, a list of paper, and it just had all of the things that you can eat to get enough iron in your diet. Now, most of the things on this list were meats, right? A lot of red meats, and I remember telling him, like, you know, I'm actually vegan, so I don't think I can eat any of these red meats. And he like looked at me and kind of like laughed and was like, you need to eat this. I don't really care about your veganism. You don't know what you're doing, and go ahead and consume these meats so you can get your iron levels back up as well. So I remember just deciding at that time that I was going to make it my quest to like learn and figure out how to consume and get enough vitamins and iron in my diet. Now, during this time, you guys, Remember I told you that I had initially just experienced like short breakage hair of maybe up to 1 inch? During this time, y'all, that portion of my hair was completely bald. I had a circular, maybe 2-inch bald spot in the center of my head. Now, I didn't realize at the time that that was actually called CCCA. Vitamin deficiencies have been one of the biggest causes, especially for Black women, in causing some type of hair loss related issues, especially that CCCA. So during the time, and obviously during the months that followed, you guys, I started to eat an iron-rich diet. I did take some, iron additional supplements. And it wasn't until I got more into Ayurveda that I learned about herbs that are rich in iron, such as the moringa and amla powder. And y'all know that I do take moringa and amla in my smoothies pretty regularly. And I also supplement with my Gaia Plant Force Liquid Iron that I take regularly. But I say all that to say, my iron stores were very, very low. It took me anywhere between maybe 8 months to a year for my hair to actually start to improve and grow back. And that's because my iron stores were so depleted. Now my body was really focusing on providing iron and nutrients to the internal organs. It really didn't care about my nails or my hair. It was really focused on trying to keep me alive and healthy. And then one thing I want to stress for anyone who's experiencing any type of hair loss, especially if it comes on suddenly and there's no reason or explanation for it, I highly want to recommend that you go to your doctor before you begin anything. Because yes, herbal treatments can be very beneficial, can be very, very helpful. Don't get it twisted, it can be very helpful. But that's literally like putting a band-aid on an infection, okay? So you need to really focus on figuring out what may be causing it, especially for some of the hair loss that is caused by certain deficiencies or hormone imbalances that can easily be fixed with time and proper nutrition. Now, again, you guys, y'all know this week I am focusing on these particular herbs. One of the wonderful things about the herbs we're using this week is that they can all be taken internally. Of course, always talk with your doctor before consuming any herbs, especially if you're on certain medications. But these herbs have wonderful properties, as we stated in the beginning of the video. They're chock full of antioxidants, and the Ginko in particular has a ton of properties for helping to increase blood flow to those hair follicles, both internally and externally as well. So make sure that you guys are getting proper nutrition, and if you can't take these herbs, definitely try them in your regimen. You could drink them as a tea, and if you're not a fan of certain herbs and how they taste, you can definitely pop this into your smoothies, and y'all, you won't even taste them, but you'll get all of those wonderful properties and benefits that will help your hair to grow and prosper. So one thing I do want to say, you guys, because that was over 10 years ago at this point, is that I still suffer from iron anemia. So I have to make sure that I pay close attention to what's going on with my hair and my scalp, especially in that crown area, because it's still the area that is still the weakest and still acts a little funny whenever I don't take my iron pills the way I should be. As you know, sometimes we always forget things. But doing these hair challenges is really, really helpful for me. Not only am I able to remember to do topical treatments, but it also helps remind me to take my herbs internally as well. And y'all, this is when I experience the most consistent hair growth and minimal shedding, especially in the crown area. Okay, so thanks for listening to my hair loss story. Make sure you stay tuned for week 6 of our Prevent Hair Loss Challenge while we focus on this gloss bar. But that's it for this week. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.